to secured insights. Stilo Group Services for secured insights.
We're going to talk about the main security technologies you rely on, what enterprise systems really do, and how you can get way more out of them. Then we'll look at PSIM platforms, especially ones like Advancis, and why they can be a lifesaver when you've got a bunch of different sites or buildings with mixed up systems. Finally, I'll share how we at Stilo make all this actually work in the real world. So grab a coffee and let's get into it.
Stilo Group Services.
So let's start with what most security officers deal with every shift. Now, I've worked in security technology, that's where I started, but I've also had the opportunity to work on a physical security team as their security technology support. And what that means is I've had a lot of experience with how security officers operate on a day-to-day, especially in control rooms. And what that does show me is the right technology has to be in place. And also very, very minimal alarms as well in areas where they shouldn't be, because they just get ignored. So let's look at this a bit closer. So let's say you've got CCTV, access control, intruder alarms, perimeter detection, and all the usual kit. Now on their own they're fine, but when they don't talk to each other, you end up jumping between different screens, trying to figure out what's actually going on, and chasing a lot of false alarms. It is exhausting. So that, to me, is where enterprise security systems come in. Think of them as the big picture platform that pulls everything together across large sites or multiple locations. Instead of 10 different logins and dashboards, you get one clear view. Officers see what they need, managers get proper reports, and everything scales without falling apart. But here's the thing. Even really good systems lose performance over time if you don't look after them. So how do you actually maximise what you've got? So first, keep on top of the basics. Regular health checks, firmware upgrades, even all the way down to cleaning cameras. That kind of stuff, stuff drifts if you ignore that. Second, look at your data. Most systems will show you probably 80% of your false alarms are coming from the same two cameras at the same maybe time of day. So fix the cause instead of adding more gear. Third, train your team properly, not just a quick slideshow, but real hands-on sessions on exact scenarios they'll face. And fourth, this is the big one, integrate everything properly. So that's where PSIM comes in.
Security insights.
PSIM stands for Physical Security Information Management. Companies like Advancis do it really well. In plain English, the PSIM sits above all your existing systems and makes them work as one smart operation. When something happens, say a door is forced and a camera picks up movement in the same area, the PSIM joins the dots straight away. It creates one clear incident. So it sends it to the right officer's phone or screen and even suggests the best response. No more switching between 6 different programs trying to work it out, I suppose. What I really like about Advancis though, and as I say, there are other PSIMs out there of course that we are pretty vendor neutral, but Advancis themselves are pretty much vendor neutral. And so what that means to me is that you can always sort of tailor the right system for the right customer. And we pride ourselves on that as well at Stilo Group Services. The vendor neutral stance means that we're not just going to turn up at your site and say you need this because we're friends with them. Essentially what it means is we are going to look at the market, we are going to look at what is suitable for you, and as a result of that you're going to end up with a system that absolutely works for your program. So Advancis being vendor neutral means it connects to pretty much whatever cameras, access systems or alarms you already have.
Security insights.
So this is where it gets really useful for a lot of organisations that we work with. So if you picture this, you've got a multi-tenanted building where every tenant has bought their own legacy security setup, or let's say you've grown by acquiring sites across the region. That's a good example. You've grown by acquiring sites across the region and each one has its own access control system, which is a totally different manufacturer and brand to the one on your other sites. Different ages of equipment as well, of course, and different ways of working. My experience, the knee-jerk reaction is, well, we need to rip and replace everything. Well, that's expensive, that's disruptive, and it takes forever. Now, of course, if that's what you want to do, and you want everything to be exactly the same, then fine. But you can still give that same approach. Let's think about it. If someone turns up to your site and they can use the same badge and the readers are the same, No one's really going to know that you're using a different system. That's the back end stuff. And of course, then your question would be, yeah, but that means that we've got to manage multiple systems. Absolutely not. So that is where a physical security information management, or PSIM, comes in. It's a much smarter move to install that layer on the top. You keep the working hardware you've already got, connect it all together, and suddenly your control room has one single view. Your officers follow the same procedures everywhere, management gets consistent reporting, and you save a fortune compared to full replacements, and we all like saving a fortune. So we've seen customers cut their migration costs by, I'd say, around half, and get everything running smoothly in months instead of a year or more. So again, very, very effective. And when you eventually are ready to upgrade bits and pieces, you can do it gradually without breaking the whole operation. So I'd say almost first off, right? Let's say you've got 10 sites. There's a couple of them running one system, and you're going to go, well, I actually want all of them to be on that system eventually. Not a problem, but for now, you may want to have some global control over those sites.
Security insights.
So how do you actually get this done without turning it into one big headache? And of course, that's important for us at Stilo, because that's where we come in, essentially, and we try and do things a bit differently. We don't actually install stuff and disappear. We offer embedded support, which basically means we put one of our experienced engineers or project management right into essentially your team working on that dedicated project and completing the milestones for the course of it, which basically takes away that stress from you. They do come to your meetings, own the PSIM tuning and configuration, sort out any issues with vendors, train your officers properly, and basically make sure everything on site gets brought on smoothly. It's basically like having an extra experienced pair of hands in your environment. But you also have the full backing of Stilo as a company, which is good. So we've done these, well, I'd probably say 12 to 24, maybe nearly 2-year long projects sometimes in order to sort of migrate large portfolios. But the difference is huge, basically. You get faster value for your investment, way fewer surprises, and your team actually trust the technology instead of working around it. So I would suggest, if you're open to this and you are in a situation that you of course have multiple systems and you're thinking, how on earth am I going to get these working together, how are we going to administer this better, multiple problems on different sites, have a chat with us. I would suggest adding a PSIM could be one of the best decisions you make this year. So if you do fancy a no pressure chat, please get in touch with Stilo Group Services. One of us will have a chat with you. Thanks for listening though today to Secured Insights. If you found it useful, share it with someone on the team who's juggling too many different systems right now. And of course, new episodes every couple of weeks. My name is Marcus Lambert from Stilo Group Services. Stay safe out there, and we'll catch you next time.
Secured insights. Stilo Group Services. Secured insights.